Hello guys, this is Caesar Creates and welcome back to my channel! I am finally back with a second episode of building our dino park in the early access of the Prehistoric Kingdom. And in this episode we will add the Triceratops to our park. In the last episode, we've built a small and first enclosure for the Psittacosaurus. Some of you actually advised me to call it a taco because it's easier that way, and I totally agree. Thank you guys for this tip. So yeah, this was a very small dinosaur, and this time I wanted to go for something bigger, and I really love how the Triceratops looks in this game. I really think it is a very iconic, one of the most well-known dinosaurs, so I really wanted to add it here to our park very early on, so today it is time to build an enclosure for it. Triceratops is one of my favorites of all the dinosaurs. Since I was a little child, I loved it. It is probably because of its really cool look. I mean, the crest on the head and the horns and stuff like that. This is really iconic dinosaur that everyone knows. It is famous for always fighting the T-Rex in all the documentaries about the dinosaurs, and of course the movies about the dinosaurs and stuff like that. So yeah, I really love this dinosaur, and I actually, as I told you guys, really love how it looks in the game, especially the species of the Triceratops that I decided to add today. It is the Triceratops horridus, if I am pronouncing it right. I prefer it because of the longer horns and also really cool patterns of it on its crest, it has those stripes and stuff like that. So yeah, this time I decided to add it. And also I wanted to clarify one thing. In the last episode I actually told you guys that there are different subspecies of Psittacosaurus when actually there were species. So when you see those additional little names in the game, there are different species of a certain type of dinosaur. So today we are adding this species called the Triceratops horridus. It actually has two different color variants in the game, so we will add them both. We will mix them a bit together. I will add 2 males and 3 females, so there will be a herd of 5. Fighting between the dinosaurs is still not in the game in the early access, so I am not sure if the 2 males would fight together. Maybe they'll do a similar system that Planet Zoo has, where there are different alpha males and then beta males and stuff like that, but we are fine with having 2 males right now. They won't fight, so that's why I decided to add 2, because I actually prefer the colors of the males. It is so typical from the nature world, animal world, that the males have more prominent colors than females. So this is the case also for our Triceratops in the game, and that's why I wanted to have 2 different males. Let me quickly describe what is the idea for today's episode, for today's build. So as you guys could see at the beginning of the video, I had a area of the enclosure sort of, drawn out on the terrain. I did it with just painting the terrain tool. I wanted to prepare how big the enclosure should be. The size and the shape of this enclosure is actually a bit inspired by my recent visit to the Berlin Zoo. It is inspired by an Indian elephant enclosure in that zoo. That habitat has 2 different sections. There's one bigger one when most of the animals were when I was there, and then there's a second section, it was closed off from the rest of the habitat, and then there was a big male, so it gave the keepers the ability to close off a certain animal if there's a need to do that. So I decided that it will be cool with those dinosaurs to also have this possibility to close some of them like off, like separate them from the herd when there are some problems, for example, when there are some fights, or simply if there's a like mother with a child or something. Those are called the holding pens in zoos, and this is what I wanted to create in here. I sort of want to have this park very like inspired by zoos nowadays. I don't plan to do like a natural reserve for dinosaurs. I don't plan to have like huge enclosures, natural enclosures, and a lot of dinosaurs roaming in there. I'm just more inspired, and I'm more into enclosures that look like enclosures from the zoos, so that is what you will see basically in this series, and this is what I was going for in this episode. So basically the guests will have like two different viewing opportunities inside of this habitat. One will be just next to the main path that we started to like build last time, and there will be also a viewing like platform in the back side of the habitat, where the guests will be able to get in the later stage of building this park. Right now there's no like path leading to this platform, but I am sure that in future episodes we'll get there, we'll get to this part of the zoo, and then the guests will be able to actually use it, because as you guys probably know by now, the guests in this game are able not only to walk on the paths but also to use all the modular building pieces, as long as they are not too steep. So if you build like bridges or I don't know, viewing platforms and stuff like that, and connect them to the paths, the guests should be able to go there, like to cross them, to go to those viewing platforms. So this is really cool, and this is what I wanted to use in today's video. In the front of the habitat, where like the main viewing point is, there will be like a moat that will prevent the animals from like escaping. The animals actually like they feel like they can sense that there's a ditch, so they don't risk falling down there, and they do not try to cross those things. In zoos, actually, they sometimes use like hot wires to be like sure that they won't like attempt to cross those moats, but I didn't use that here. I thought that the moat is like perfectly enough. Of course, to build it, I used tons of those beautiful rocks that we have in this game. I am really in love with those rocks. I also used them here to create some of the back walls, backgrounds for this habitat, but I also used some of the concrete fences in some places here to close those dinosaurs off. I also added like a lower fence for the guests, so they won't attempt to cross this moat. Some people are just not thinking when it comes to this stuff. And meeting the large Triceratops from up close could really end very bad, so I prefer to have like those additional, fences. Of course, if someone wants really bad to go there, they could climb this fence or jump it. But at least we have some sort of a barrier here, so I hope that it will help with those naughty guests in our park. After adding tons of rocks to this habitat and tons of those small little rocks, like those piles of rocks, which I really love in this game, I think that adding them really helps to make your enclosures look more realistic. You're adding so much details in here that they are not so boring, so I really love them. And after adding all of them, I will start to add a lot of trees to this habitat. I really wanted to be to make it very lush and dense with a lot of foliage, but still I wanted to keep things realistic. That's why I decided to build those custom tree guards or tree protections for those animals. I've seen a lot of them while visiting different zoos in the herbivores enclosure, like buffaloes, antelopes, camels, and stuff like that. Because those animals simply would like graze on the tree barks, they would like rub against them. So this is just a matter of protecting the trees. Like, I mean, over the time, the animals could make a severe damage to the tree trunk. It doesn't look too aesthetic. It also is definitely not good for plants, for a tree. And if we are going for a realistic park like I am trying to build here, if the dino park could ever be realistic, I mean, this is not realistic at all, but still we are trying to build something that could be existing in real life. I think that we should think about things like this. I mean, the Triceratops would for sure destroy those trees. I mean, looking at those horns, I think that the tree trunk wouldn't stand any chance against them. I think that the Triceratops would use them to rub against them and stuff like that, and it would definitely destroy those poor plants. That's why I decided to add those tree protections, and in the end I really like how they are looking. I was able to do those small like screws or bolts because obviously of the scaling options in this game. And yeah, I love the general look of this enclosure when it has those, you know, tree protections, because I think it looks so generic and so realistic. Again, if the dino enclosure could ever be realistic. Just as in Planet Zoo, I didn't want to add like tons of plants in here. I think that, you know, the herbivores enclosure, when you go to the zoos, they don't have like tons of different plants because they would simply be eaten by the animals. That's why I really limited myself while adding plants here. I added some of them in the rocks, like in the crevices and stuff like that, but I didn't want to go too crazy. I use here actually the brush that you can use to add the foliage to your habitats. I only like picked the shrubs, and it was the first time that I was using it in the habitat, because normally I like to have a control of where I want to put my plants and stuff like that. I still will put some individual ones in the places that I feel that could use some plants. You guys also could see me building like those planters for the bamboo bushes. I really love the bamboo in this game, by the way. I love how the bushes look, and by adding those rocks, I thought that it would prevent the Triceratops to be able to get to those. So I will be adding some of those bamboo planters in this habitat, and I really love the look of them. I'm also really happy about the little nature scene that I was able to create next to the water section. I will showcase it more in the cinematic shots by the end of this video, so if you want to see like more detailed shots of this habitat, definitely stay tuned till the end, because I will showcase all of the like parts, angles, and all of the things, interesting things from this habitat in the cinematics by the end of this video. Right now, as you guys can see, I am basically finishing the holding pen. It was basically using the same stuff that I used in the main section, but I still wanted to be like nice. I still wanted to be like detailed with a lot of, you know, rocks, plants, and stuff like that, because if the animal would be like separated here, I still wanted to have like a nice environment. Right now the gates to this part of the enclosure will be like open, so the dinosaurs can go there all the time, but if there's a need, they can always be separated. And this is, as I told you guys, a nice touch of realism that I would really love to use in this park. By the way, I really wanted to thank you guys for an amazing response to my last video from this game. I mean, the first episode of this park. that I actually recorded some time ago in an early access stage. I mean, I got an early access basically to an early access. The lovely developers of this game like provided me with an early access. I was able to, you know, create this habitat some days before you were able to play it, and I obviously really appreciate that. I am very thankful. So yeah, I loved how you guys liked this exhibit. I had so many like different positive comments, like lovely comments from you guys. So thank you for that, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of this series as well, that you will enjoy this episode and all the future ones. I basically plan to add all the early access dinosaurs to this park. I hope that I will be able to do it when it comes, you know, to the performance, because this is basically the second one and we still have like 21 to go, I think. I know that my schedule of uploading videos lately has been like all over the place. This is basically because I started to go out more. The weather is nice outside. There are so many things to do. I don't spend so many time like in front of my computer as I used to during the cold months. But I promise you guys that the new episodes are coming, that I'll be uploading those videos. Like I'll try to do it regularly. I cannot promise you guys anything, but the new episodes are coming. I have like some really nice ideas for the new enclosures. I know like more or less the order of the dinosaurs that we'll be adding, so I hope you guys will be watching, will be waiting for those episodes, and will be still giving me those amazing comments, because they really keep me going. And by the way, if you would like to see more of the episodes of this park and you don't want to miss any of my future uploads regarding this series, please consider to subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button down below. It would really mean a world to me, and you will make sure that you won't miss any of my future videos. But coming back to today's video, as you guys could see on the screen, I added like those planters in the like front section of the habitat. I wanted to make those like paths a bit more like interesting, so I added those planters, bigger ones and smaller ones. I added some benches for the guests, some bins, so like just to make this area look more interesting and finished. And right now I am focusing on the shelter for the Triceratops. This was actually the most difficult part of today's video, just because I have no idea, I really have no idea how the shelter for the dinosaur should look like. I of course know that it should probably be very highly like secured. We're using a lot of, you know, heavy metal and stuff like that, but I don't have any references online. I can't find any inspiration anywhere, because those things simply don't exist in a real life. So I like tried to base the interiors of the shelters on like elephants shelters or rhinos and stuff like that, and I hope that this is something that would be like you know, usable for those dinosaurs. When it comes to the shelter design, I of course used like a brick style that we used last time, and I lined all the walls inside with concrete pieces, just again to make things look a bit more realistic. I really don't like using, you know, the same texture of the walls outside and inside, because I think this is not how the real life building work. Basically, you have, for example, bricks outside, and then you have like white plaster walls inside. Of course, there are some exceptions, but generally you have different materials used inside. So this is what I am going for, and that's why I am like focusing so much on you know, lining all of those walls with different materials. What I also discovered while going through like different like those prefab pieces in this game, because there are actually a lot of those, like the developers of this game gave us different, you know, shelters, different caves, like viewing platforms, like that were already pre-made and that are actually really well made. I love the design of most of them. And there was this one like shelter for the animal with the, you know, backstage stuff and the inside all made. And there was this like very heavy like metal gates, like stall something. And I really loved the design of it. I thought that it was just perfect. So why don't use it in my build if it's so good? So I decided to copy that over to my shelter. So it gave me a lot of like you know, inspiration on what I should do in the future episodes. Right now I sort of know how the stuff should look, and this is what will be coming for in the next episodes for sure. But yeah, this is what I used here. I actually like did one big like stall or night quarter for all of those animals, and there's like the one that is smaller where the dinosaur can be like separated if there's a need. And also, of course, I added some of those backstage props that I really love. Those were some of my favorite like building pieces in this game, and I even wish that we had more. I'm very hopeful for the future because I am so in love with those shovels, buckets and stuff like that. This really helps to make those backstage areas come to life. Of course, I didn't like focus as much on the backstage area of the shelter as I could. I am fully aware of that, but my reasoning for that is that I don't want to, you know, put too many different small pieces to the parts that normally the guests wouldn't see. Even if we'll do like a final tour of this whole park when it will be finished, you guys also won't see those like backstage stuff as much as the enclosures. And I think that the main focus of those builds should be like you know, the foliage, the rocks and stuff that you actually see from the paths, from viewing galleries, platforms and places like that. I am doing it because I am a bit worried about like a piece count, about the performance. You know, the more pieces you add, the worse the game is performing over time. So I only adding some buckets and some of those things. I definitely could add more, maybe at the end if we'll still, you know, finish this park and my computer will be surviving all of that stuff. I will add some more details, but right now I am like perfectly fine with the things that we are adding to those places. After being done with the shelter, I will move on to finishing the viewing platform. I actually had this really cool idea of like making again the rock background in there and incorporate some planters and add a lot of plants, a lot of creeping plants to make it look very interesting and green and lush. And I actually really think that it suits our park, that it looks really cool. And I will also do like a staircase or something, staircase but without the stairs. There will be just elevated path coming up to this platform with some railings, I mean with some barriers for the guests to you know, prevent them from falling down. So this is all that we will do at the end of this video. In the future episodes, of course, I plan to add more dinosaurs. I definitely plan to like organize them a bit in this park. I definitely want to have like a carnivore section. I definitely want to have like a prehistoric mammal section with mammoths, woolly rhinos and stuff like that. And of course, herbivores like organized by the biomes more or less. For example, the wetlands, like duck-billed dinosaurs will be next to each other. Then we'll have the sauropods. Right now we are building for the ceratopsians, but I don't think that we will add them all like one episode after another, because I think that we need to do something like different in the future episodes to sort of take a break from them. We added 2 and we'll be going for more, but actually I think that I will add like a duck-billed dinosaur next time, or maybe a carnivore. I will see. Okay guys, this is basically all that I have for you in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like today's enclosure and that you are happy with the choice of the dinosaur that I decided to make, being the Triceratops. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider to subscribe to my channel. Click that subscribe button, that would really mean a world to me and will help my channel to grow, and also you won't miss any of my future uploads. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up down below, ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, and of course comment down below if you enjoyed today's video, if you like the enclosure, and how you are enjoying the early access of the Prehistoric Kingdom. I would really love to hear what are your experiences with the game so far. And of course stay with me, because in a second there'll be cinematic shots where I will showcase all the parts of this enclosure that we've built today. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!